just get settled in here and then we'll get started in just a minute. And I will be trying to monitor the chat, but I'm also running the slides on the other side of the room. So if I don't get to you right away, just know I'll be trying to watch the chat as well.
Right. It's so sweating because we don't, I should have grabbed, I don't know what you want to do because this guy is not. Yeah. And so like no name was
Okay, I'll be right back.
Did you win it?
I'll be right back.
You will. Okay. So they're like microwave dishwasher. They're actually like a high part. So they put whatever. Yeah, so they're like, they're not like, you can put body in it, but if you feel like. But they brought that not. Oh my gosh. Never. Listen, you have to actually go down and enter. It's important to about something about. Money. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sorry. Yeah. Everybody's here. Everybody's here is here. I was like expecting there to be more people upstairs for me to round up, but they're not. They're all here. So we'll go ahead and get started. The session is being recorded, just so everybody knows. We will send a recording out. It'll be in the need to know all the good things. So we have the pleasure today of having Katie with us. Katie comes to us from the Wide Missing, Keller Williams. How many of you follow Katie or are friends with her on her social net? Good. Right. Well, you guys are in for a real treat. I am going to be manning the chat and helping with slides, so pardon my interruption as we go through. Oh, do you want me to do it? It is an easy plan. Okay. Arrow and I just made you help at the video. Yeah. Okay. Good. And it'll save you running back. Thanks. All right. Well, thank you everybody for taking the time out of your schedule today. I know that we're all very busy running around for market time. You all have a handout, and I'll just kind of like point different things out as we go through it. The whole point of me coming here and teaching this course is so that you can leave with items of value that you're actually going to use. So we take a little bit of time at the very end to just kind of like hone in on what you want to do for your business. So anytime that I teach a course, I always like to start with this quote. Be happy with what you have while working for what you want. And I have had this quote on my whiteboard for years. So we all know as agents, we have like really great days, we have really horrible days, like, the highs are great and the lows can be like super low. And this quote, I always just really like it. I know that all of us in here are making goals, reaching towards those goals, trying to get bigger and better. But I think it's important to pause and see where all of your hard work has taken you so far, because it's like you're never going to enjoy life if you're always reaching, always trying to like get to the next thing. So I love this quote. I like to share it. I'm going to take a picture of it, save it, add it to your whiteboard. A little bit about me. I am from the Keller Williams Wyoming Market Center, which is in Berks County. So it's about like an hour-ish from here. I have been licensed since 2014, and I live in Reading, Pennsylvania. That's my husband, Matt, and I have two daughters, Addison and Natalie. They are 7 and 2. I have a really strong educational background. My mom was a teacher. My grandfather was a teacher and a principal. My husband, Matt, is actually a school principal too. I went to Shippensburg for my undergrad, and I grew up kind of local to here. So I was not born, and I lived in Hershey for a couple of years. My parents moved back to Perry County, and I graduated from West Perry. My mom was born and raised in Lane in Perry County. So she kind of moved out and then moved back to Perry County. When I went to college at Shippensburg. Shippensburg is where I met my husband, Matt. I was a high school business teacher for, I lost count of how many years. I'm going to say like 13 or 14 years. So I started out what a lot of people call is like dual agent, where I would go to school. Every day I'd have to be there from 7:30 until 3:10, and then I would leave right at 3:10, do real estate from like the time of walking out the door until most evenings 8 or 9. I always tell people that I was never part-time. So when an agent says that they're part-time, I always kind of like cringe, because your mindset should be that you're always full-time. So, I was a full-time teacher, full-time realtor. I was not a mother at that point. I honestly don't think I could have done what I did then, having kids now, like looking back at all of it. But I was able to have timing work out really well for me. When I had our first daughter in May of 2017, I had been licensed for 3 full years, and I really got my business to a point where I did not have to go back to teaching after that. But I'm a very detail-oriented spreadsheeter kind of person. So I had lots of different goals that I had to meet, for myself and for my family in that 3-year period. But I did not have to go back to teaching after that. My part-time job when I was a teacher, because do we have any teachers or former teachers in this classroom? You know how teachers don't get paid that much, and you always have a summer job. Like you can be a teacher and you're 45 years old, and you always have that summer job. So all during college, when I was teaching, I was always a bartender or a server. And I can tell you that I think some of the best agents out there were bartenders, servers, teachers, nurses. I think that you really know how to pivot, how to multitask, how to deal with the general public. That can be real fun, good and the bad. I've also been named top 50 in social media for real estate agents in Pennsylvania. And I invest with my husband on single family long term. A little bit more about my daughters. Addison is in 2nd grade. She'll be 8 next week. She is your typical oldest first child. Natalie, oh my gosh, when people say like, watch out for that second kid, she is opposite of Addison in every possible way. So she is deep in the terrible twos right now. And then Matt is a United States Marine Corps veteran. He is principal at Ole Valley, which is a school district in Berks County. And like I said, we met in Shippensburg. And for me, like I said, type A, super planner. I love all the details. I love doing that. If anybody in here has taken the KPA, has anybody taken the KPA to see how you rank with it, and it gives you like, like what your like best job is going to be, or best like focus. And mine, I can think back to, it was transaction coordinator, was number 1 by like a landslide. And it was when I first started back in KW. So I was in Berkshire Hathaway for the first 3 years, and the Keller Williams office opened in my area, and I switched over. So however you do the math to backtrack that, I first learned about what a mega agent was, and the KPA ranks you, like that's like one of the ranks in it. The mega agent was like down at the bottom. No, this is not right. But once I kind of stepped back and took a look at it, I was like, a transaction coordinator makes total sense. I still do all of my own transaction coordinating. Like, love the details. I like hot yoga. I like sneakers. Christmas is my favorite holiday. I'm a huge Christmas lover. I like staycations, like being at my own house. Not a super fan of traveling, but once I get somewhere, I'm like, oh, I should travel more. For Keller Williams stat, I am a solo agent. I do not have a team. I have a part-time marketing specialist, and I have an agent who helps. Usually I do about 40 to 60 units per year, depending on what the year is. In Berks County, just so you can get a little bit of a grasp of our market, our average sold price is right around 300,000. Mega agent, I'm top 100. I've been on the ALC now for 7 years. Everybody in the ALC here? I always like to connect with the ALC finance person. ALC finance person.
We have red shirt members, which are like
okay.
ALC and training, sort of.
Okay.
So Shanice and Madison.
Oh, that's fun. Okay, great. And I was a speaker at in. Right, so if you don't follow me, go ahead and on your phone, you can find me on Facebook, find my personal Facebook, Katie Broskey. And on Instagram, I'm Katie Broskey Realtor. I post a lot of what I do, whether it's like different things I'm doing with my clients, different marketing things. If you ever see anything that I do and you want to basically copy it, just send me a message at any time and I can tell you like, you know, how I purchased it, what the plan was. I found that with both Facebook and Instagram, once you follow me, if you just want to send me a DM that just says hi, once we've messaged back and forth, just like real briefly, like we'll show up more in each other's feeds. So you'll be able to like see what I'm doing, I can see what you're doing. But always feel free to ask me any questions at any time. I'm very willing to share why I'm here today. All right, so for today's goal, I want you all to leave the room and have like one thing that you really want to start doing with your business that I've showed you today. Today's class is to be interactive. So, you know, be ready to take notes, ask questions, you can take photos of things. I want you all leaving this room like pumped up to like do something new. And I'm going to share plenty of different things for all different budgets. All right, so our focus is what is our sphere of, so when you hear somebody talking about their SOI, we're saying that they want to focus on their sphere, or you know, somebody comes to your market center like me and says, oh my gosh, I'm going to show you how to stay connected with your sphere. What does that mean to you? And that's kind of the first part of our notes here. And there's no wrong answer. So just jot down, you know, in your own words, what does your sphere of influence mean? Or if somebody asks you like, hey, I heard Katie's coming in to talk about, you know, how to love your sphere. Like, what does that mean? No wrong answer. So I have a volunteer to share, or I can just call. Good.
I just had somebody who would refer you or speak.
Okay, good. Let's do 2 more.
I have past clients, friends, social media connections that refer me to
Okay.
business and constantly promote.
Awesome. Love it.
I have the people who know you, like, and trust you.
Perfect. So when we are thinking about our sphere and talking about our sphere, and I actually saw your team leader, Brittany, posted a video today talking about databases and spheres. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. Like, I'm to your office today. So if you haven't seen that video that Brittany just did, definitely check it out. But what I like to tell people is your sphere is everybody that you come into contact with. So sometimes when I teach this course, we take like a 15-minute chunk out of this course to actually like start writing down and reorganizing your sphere. When I chatted with Brittany, she was like, let's go lighter on that and go heavier on, you know, me sharing what I actually do. So the whole point here, I'll tell you what I do, and then you just have to do whatever is comfortable and best for your business. So command, I don't love. I know. Oh. Don't love it. There's lots of things with it, but I just honestly don't love it. I use it for different things. But what I do and what my marketing specialist and I do is we have G Suite, so Google Docs, we share spreadsheets. Like I said, I'm a crazy spreadsheet person. Command has things where you can dump your spreadsheets into it as well. And I'll show you when I talk about some different things up here, like how I use my spreadsheet with it. But I have one spreadsheet that is my main database. And that's where I have all of my contacts, their addresses, how I know them, and I have a couple different columns. So what I like to tell people is you need to be refreshing your database all the time. You need to go through, and if you know, look at person number 152 and you're like, who is that? I don't even know who that person, take them out. You need to be constantly adding people in, taking people out, keeping it refreshed to your business. And I want you to think about every single person that you are in contact with every day. Sometimes I help newer agents start to build their database, and it's all about quality, not quantity. Somebody that has a database of 5,000 people is not necessarily any stronger or any better for your business than somebody that has a database of 50 amazing people that are going to be your cheerleaders. Think about places that you go every day. Do you have a day that, or a place that you go to get coffee every day? Do you go to yoga like I do, same place every Monday, Wednesday, Friday? I've been going there for like 14 years now. Think of all the people that you know that you're in constant contact with, and they do not have to be a person that has bought or sold a house with you. So I think that's where a lot of people get stuck. I'm not going to stay on this point for too long, but if you haven't cleaned up and looked at your database list, schedule time maybe next week to take an hour to kind of go through it, add in people, take out people, think about where you go, what you do. Maybe you're a volunteer coach. Yep.
Just for the record, June 11th, Brittany and I are actually hosting a database workshop day.
Ooh.
So exactly what Katie's talking about, we're going to be here in the training room, just
That's awesome.
exploding our databases
Yeah.
and getting them cleaned up, tagged, all the things. So there is going to be a practical application for them to do that. Yeah.
And Command does have like the tags, they're very useful depending on what you do want to do with it. I love all the courses that I see that your market center here offers. Like, I just think that they're so useful. That's my little blurb on database, but we're gonna. What do you currently do to touch your sphere? So when I say, you know, when was the last time that you did some type of touch to your database? And real quick, going back to that database, some people like to section off their database into like an A list and a B list. So like your A clients or your A section are like the people that are your biggest cheerleaders. It could be somebody that's never bought or sold a house with you, but maybe every friend that they hear that wants to buy or sell their house, they're saying, oh my gosh, call me. Sometimes you can split it into like different sections. So, but what's something that you currently do with your database? Anybody in here have anything that they want to share? It can be something super small, super easy. Like, what's something that you do? Popeyes. Okay, I love Popeyes. Do you do them quarterly? Like, do you have a plan, or like just when you feel like it? Monthly, okay.
It's not, it's like the database is broken down.
Mhm. I love it. Your spreadsheet is things too.
Yeah.
Anybody else do anything? Do you have Popeyes? Anybody do like any mailings, like a card?
You want to do a quarterly newsletter?
What?
Comments, people.
Do you print it and mail it like a physical? Just think about how many emails we get too. I'm going to show you, I'm a real big fan of snail mail, even though postage kind of drives me crazy, but I think there's something extra special about like getting something in hand and not an email. So like mailing that versus people put the same thing in an email, but how many people are just coming to the that. All right, so online brainstorming and searching. Again, we're going to kind of just briefly go through this. Like I said, I would spend a big chunk of the time showing you things that I actually do. So if you want to copy or use any of them, you can. But how many of you in here have experienced or created a top 5? I like raise it. If you have no idea what that is, make a note on your note sheet to Google Brian Buffini top 5. There is so much free stuff. So like I said, I started at Berkshire Hathaway. We did not have a Keller Williams office in my county. And my training when I was a new agent was the Buffini program. And it was very like easy at times and kind of like bold, but the things he said and taught you throughout it, I still do today. So worth your time, and there's tons of free stuff out there. So if you actually go to his webpage, if you Google it, he does a free tag that's already made per season, per month, that you can just then go into Canva and just plop your logo over it. And it's the cutest, most simple thing. So I can tell you that when I first started and had a lower budget, I still wanted to do pop buys. And I did it kind of by the holiday, so it was definitely at least one per quarter. I was a school teacher at a high school, and it was a larger high school, so I could pop things into people's mailboxes. Probably could have gotten fired for it, but I did it anyway. Because you just want everybody to know that you can help them buy and sell a house. So during, my first 3 to 4 years, I would do the pop buys that were simple things like, candy hearts on Valentine's Day with like a little tag. 4th of July would be like sparklers. And make these like cute little bags that I would just drop off. So take some time for pop buys. Does your office do anything pop by?
We do make and takes once a quarter.
Mhm.
I think Skylar, the last ones we just did were seed packets, with little things.
Yeah.
And so we usually try to have all the supplies. They bring their business card and just attach it.
Yeah, yep. So doing things like that, again, it just keeps you top of mind. So when you are going through to kind of organize your database, maybe you want to have, the first 25 people get something in January, somebody else gets something in February. Everything that I show you, you'll just have to think how it could work or not work with your budget. I'm going to, give me 1 second here. I want to skip ahead and skip back. I'm going to give you a brief look at what I do for client parties, just to see if there's anything that you might be interested in. And then I'm going to go through the calendar year by the month and show you how I touch my sphere in different ways. So if you are ever thinking about doing an event for your clients, pre-COVID, I did a lot. And then during COVID, everything kind of like stopped. Now we're kind of, post-COVID time. And depending on what your budget is, what you want to do, I'll share what I did. I've been doing basically just one per year. I like to do it nice, quality, and not cheap. But I like to get the biggest marketing push that I can. So if you are ever thinking about doing an event for your clients, I always tell people, like, who is your target audience? So last year I did a Taylor Swift. It was a Katie Broskey Realtor Super Swifty dance party. I have a video that I'm going to show you. And that was obviously targeted towards Swifties. That was open to the public, not just my database. I did that one a little bit differently. This year, I have one that's just for my clients and my sphere. But then also, what is your budget? You can do something nice on a small budget that has the same impact as something where you spend thousands or more. So I just tell people to kind of just pause, like, how are you going to market it? How much money do you have? And something that I started doing a few years back with anything that I do, like pop buy wise, marketing wise, client party wise, is I think, how can I give back and show like value to where I live? So I'm going to show you different things here that I've changed over the years to kind of tweak that I'm like somehow donating to a place in Berks County that I really like, having my clients help donate to it. So it's fun to have a party, but I think we need to have that other piece to it where, like, what's the item of value? How are you giving back? How is it going to make the area you live look at you and know you? So I have a client pumpkin party that I'm going to show you a video for. And I have the Super Swifty dance party that I'll do a quick blurb for. And right now I am in the process of having a USA themed party that's May 18th. So I'm like in the thick of all the marketing for that. This one. This was a client appreciation pumpkin party. But I rented a pavilion.
His name.
So you can just kind of see in the picture, it was at a local park. It had a playground. The pavilion was rented out. Maybe it'll actually work better if I just kind of talk.
I'm sorry.
Video, no, that's fine. I got pumpkins from a local farmer. We didn't carve them, we did pumpkin painting because carving would have been a hot mess to try to like, do with all the kids. I got those like sticky pumpkin, you know, like the eyes and the mouth that you can stick on it. I had a face painter there. I went to Sam's Club and bought a bunch of like kid snacks, like individual packed goldfish, bottled water. I had people bring an item. There was a like warm weather coated clothing drive. So if people wanted to bring a gently used or new jacket, hat, scarves, that was the like giving back piece. But it was very, very simple. Like I would say the pavilion to rent was under $300 for the afternoon. The pumpkins I got through a local farmer that gave me a really good deal on it. I did, I think, like Oriental trading probably for the paint for the pumpkins, the stickers for the face. And I invited clients to come. And I have a video person that I sometimes use that she makes the more professional looking videos like this. I'll pay her to come out to kind of document it.
Was this something to the public or just fine?
This was just fine. So they had to tell me who's gonna come. I invited them. There was an app called Punchbowl that I really liked, and it like would text and email them automatically. If you play around with command, you can come up with different things too. But it capped you off at a certain number. So this was like right before COVID. I want to say I didn't invite more than 200 people too. So the turnout was nice. People could just kind of like stop in. It was more chill. And the cost for this was lower.
I was gonna ask, do you know, like, what your total spend for something like that?
I do have a spreadsheet. This one was definitely lower because it was like the rental for the pavilion, the pumpkin, the face painter. I think overall, probably under that. The farmer gives me different deals on the pumpkin. So I never quite know.
Okay.
Like that. And then, all right, so the Super Swifty dance party, I could do a whole class on how I did this. I'm just gonna real quick go over this. So I met a Keller Williams agent from DC, and she did something similar to this. And we brainstormed together then to both do one in our own like cities. It was the second time for her, first time for me. So I marketed this, and you can see it benefited Mary's Shelter, which is a homeless shelter for women and children that's in Reading, and veterans making a difference. It was open to the public, so I marketed it to everyone, obviously marketed to Swifties. I did major pushes to my database, but then I could like publicly post it on Instagram and Facebook as well, you know, targeted towards like Swifties. The event space that I rented out was really, really nice. I had a DJ, a photo booth. Those are all the volunteers. All the volunteers got a special shirt. They had to RSVP through Eventbrite, and there was a ticket price. So they had to pay to go. There was a standard ticket price, and then there was a VIP ticket price. And 100% of those proceeds went towards veterans making a difference and Mary's Shelter. They got split 50-50. The VIP tickets got one of the Taylor Swift shirts, like all the volunteers were wearing. So that was like the VIP. If you want to pay $25 more, donate more, you've got a shirt when you check in. Tons of details for this. I then created like a private Facebook group with all the RSVP guest people, like a Super Swifty private group that I could push out teasers for the party for. Every so often, I still push out things to that page. Some of my clients brought, you know, friends or kids' friends that I otherwise never would have met. So it was like creating new contacts for me as well. I'd have to look back at my spreadsheet. This one was not cheap, but oh my gosh, people loved it. And even the like promoting and the marketing that I do after it has such a huge push. And that would be a whole different class, you know, for like 90 minutes to go through how I did that. But if it sparks your interest in any way, you know, talk to me at any time. And again, I had my video person come out so she can make this that we can like post at different times, like on Taylor Swift's birthday. My friend has connections to the one local news station, and they actually came and did like a clip on their evening news that night, and that was actually free. Like they just like showed up and did that. So this was great. Tons of work though, oh my gosh. The like girls all loved it.
This was really, this happened right around the Eras tour.
Mhm.
Like sort of synced up with that, and I'll be honest, like, I mean, I follow Katie and, you know, I love all her things that she does. I had real FOMO,
Yeah.
not going to the Swiss party. I can do this myself.
It was fun, like parents stayed, like with TJ, dance, it was a really, really good. But the key to that is having a lot of volunteers.
Like also think partnering with the shelter and stuff made it less salesy and
Yeah.
more, it's like authentic to the.
Yeah, so you always have to like think of like how to twist it. I don't like to, like, I never walk up to a person and say, hey, can I help you buy yourself a house? Cringe, you know. But that was last year. You can see I tagged all the local businesses. A lot of the businesses either donated or gave me a lot of. I had some of my lenders that I use entitled. All right, and then the last one is what I am in the middle of planning now. Right now, I'm doing a Katie Broskey Realtor Red, White, and Thank You celebration, and this is just to my sphere. Now, I'm carefully marketing it on my public pages, so if you start to follow me, you'll see things, but then I always add in like, hey, the link to register, the link to RSVP is on my private VIP page, which again would be a different class that I can teach. That's a really good one too. I have a private Facebook VIP group that is for my sphere. I do a lot of cool stuff with that. But public doesn't know the date, time, location, but the public sees me like making my hats for it, that is benefiting veterans, making a difference. I thought the USA theme would go really well with that. So I love marketing. I always tell people when I went to Shippensburg, I went through their school of business, and then the program was a 4.5-year program, but I had a student teach at the end of it. And all my favorite classes were always marketing classes. I personally love that. But I send out a postcard that gets sent to everyone, like an actual like snail mail postcard that gets mailed out. I have a QR code on here for if you would like to donate items that the homeless veterans shelter needs. So I made like an Amazon wish list because they need like deodorant, toothbrush, toothpaste, all that kinds of things. So if people can't make it to the party, they can still donate an item. And if people can't make it to the party, I'll talk more about this later. I have these, Otto is like a nicer brand of trucker hats. I had these made that for $25. You can get a USA hat to wear. And it's perfect timing because it's going to be all of our red, white, and blue holidays coming up. People going to free, but that donates as well. So the general public can see, hey, I can buy a hat for $25. I can donate to the wish list, but then if they want to be intrigued by like, how can I be a VIP and actually go, they can contact me as well. But again, that's kind of like a whole, but I just wanted to like flash this up there. If anybody wants to talk more later, or if you want to have me come back and do this class. Start a list. Something else that you can do on social media. So, like I said, if you haven't followed me, go ahead and follow me. Stop getting at any time. I got these hats made this year. This is new for this year. I'm all about doing quality over quantity. So these are the Carhartt brand hats. I could have gotten a lot more like the cheaper hat, a lot more, but it's kind of like, you know, somebody gives you like a fake Yeti cup, you're like, and like not that nice cup. I find that people really hold on to and use the nicer products. So I only ordered maybe 25 or 30 of these total, and I was using them mostly for gifts, like I did a bag set on it. But I did a giveaway on Facebook and Instagram, and I did a lot of things in my stories, kind of like just showing me. And I did a winter hat giveaway. And it was just simply comment yellow or gray. And what did this one say? 6 total winners will be randomly picked in contact. And within like a couple of hours, I had So again, it's gonna flash you up on socials. It was just kind of like a fun thing to do. But you can think of different ways, like you don't have to spend, $5,000 to order, I don't know, 80 of these hats. Buy 20 of them. Figure out how you can like market it best towards you to kind of get the most out. Something else I do for giveaways on social sometimes, event tickets to different things. Sometimes I'll purposely like buy extra tickets to baseball game, concert, there's like spaghetti dinners that all the sports teams were doing at this one place that people love. You know how your friends post like, hey, my kid's baseball team is selling $10 spaghetti dinner tickets. And you're like, well, I don't really want to go to that, but I support them. Buy 5 of them and do something like that. Supporting them. And then the people that comment actually. All right, so this is where we're going to do ideas by the month. So you can stop me at any time. You can take pictures. I'm going to pass things around. And I'm going to start to share with you what I'm doing. So if you aren't doing that many things yet, if you're a newer agent, if your budget is lower, I'm going to highlight what I started using when I first started and what I'm still using now because I love it. So one thing that I think is worth every penny is in January, I send out a magnet calendar. It's like a Happy New Year calendar. This company is Magnets USA, and they run their biggest sale of the year. It's either in June or July. The sales lady always calls me when I'm at the beach every year, and she's like, it's time to order the calendar. But it's by far the best price that you order them. So they mail for one stamp. So the envelopes that they offer, I always pay a little extra to get the return address printed on it. And it's the envelopes with the stickers, so you don't have to like, use a sponge or like them. So it's super easy to like pack them together. And they add this new thing that you can add this little note to it. So I'm just gonna pass this around so if you want to take a picture, if you want to see it. Magnet calendar. There's cheaper versions where you tear off a sticker and you just put your business card on it. So for my first few years when I would mail out 75, 100, I would do that. But now it's like, I'll mail out like 500. I don't want to be peeling and sticking. So they have an option. It's like a little house shape. And then it's, actually nicely on here. And I started doing this when I first started. And I was like, are people even going to use this? People love it. Like my clients ask me if they can have 2 to like have one at home, take one to work. Just think of like calendar. It's nice to have just like that little like mini calendar, like take a quick look at instead of like pulling out your phone, scrolling through things. You guys can pass that around. That is one thing that I've always done. I'm shocked how much people like it. And last year I was a week or 2 late with mailing it. So I wait to mail it until like maybe the first, second week in January, so that the holiday rush is done and it's not getting lost in like all the Christmas mail. And the one year I was just really late. By the end of January, by the time I got like wanted to know. I thought was a good thing. Yeah. So that's magnetsusa.com. This is where I always order those from. Their big sale, I would say it's June or July. Their customer service is so good. Like I call and talk to a person all the time. I can't do like the editing of things online, so I call and I'm like, all right, I'm going to send you my headshot. This is the picture that I like, and they just do it all. So their customer service is really solid. In January, I also send out a tax letter to all sold clients in the previous year. I don't know if I brought one. So any client that closed with me in the previous year, I mail out in snail mail a copy of their Alta or their CD and a letter from me. Actually, I do. So if you want to take a picture of this, you can. And I find an envelope that's like padded in a fun color. that when they get their mail, it's not in an envelope folded up like a business letter, like junk letter, like I send a little bit extra. And they get, pretty envelope, flat like this, it has a copy of their Ulta. Sometimes I'll throw in like $1 scratch off with it. But it's a good way to, again, touch your sphere. You're touching all those clients that just bought with you in the previous year. And you can prepare that throughout the whole year. So after each settlement, if the title company, usually you know how the title company gives you two copies of the Ulta. And I used to just throw out the second copy because why? But now I have a folder that I keep it in, and then maybe every like couple months, I'll stuff it to get ready to go out in January, but it's not like a huge project right after the Christmas.
I tell them that's probably so much better, because I just, like, one day I'll just sit and.
Just do them all, yeah. People like to have that paper copy, I've noticed. And like for tax purposes too, even if they do everything online with their taxes, like people just like that paper copy of it. Plus, they usually always lose it when they, when they get that folder at closing, they're like, I have no idea. So people love that, super easy. Again, it's an item of value, showing your value to your client. You're refreshing, getting your face. February. I used to do all like the cute Valentine's Day candy with like all the cute things. Something that I can say that I evolved with over time. So I got my license in 2014. It's now 2025. I stopped buying and spending money on consumables. So like even though the pop buys are cute with like candy and different things, people are just gonna throw. It does get your face in front of the people for that time, but then it's just kind of like a quick and done. For example, for settlement, there used to be a company that my one friend worked for. She was a salesperson, and they would do the champagne bottles that were like coated in glitter on the outside. I forget what the name of it, One Hope or something maybe. And they looked so cool. So it was like you were giving this like glittery champagne bottle. They had like rainbow glitter, they had gold and silver, but then people drank it and threw it out, and it's done. So I'll share what I do for different settlement gifts, but kind of what I've learned over the years is, if you're spending a few hundred, a few $1,000s, and it's something that people are just going to throw out, I don't think that's your best choice for you. Again, the quality of the product, the quantity, what are people going to use it for, where is it going to be? So like I said, February, I used to always do something with, candy. But I switched then to Valentine's Day. So this goes over to my like love of snail mail. Who doesn't like to get like an actual card than an actual Valentine's Day card? So I create these in Canva. They have all sorts of different templates that you can do. And what I do is I do an actual handwritten note that then I scan as a PDF and put it into it. So it like looks like it's it actually is my handwriting for it. And then I usually put a $1 Valentine's scratch off in it. And this one on the back has like my logo, my company phone number, all the compliance stuff that you have to have. But it's not like an advertisement, it's just like a nice little Valentine card. And depending on what my budget is like, sometimes my quarter one I'm just not happy with, lower. So it's like, do I spend, $3,000 sending out cards and the lottery scratch off ticket to everyone, or do I do just my top 25? But I do that differently each year because everybody gets the count. Everybody gets it. So that goes out to like 600 people. My database, give or take, is like 550. I'm constantly like adding people, taking people. And again, for your database, the quality over the quantity. So you don't have to be sending out 3,000. Pick 20 people that love you, love your business, send it to them. They're going to be taking a picture of it and putting it in their story on Instagram, tagging you. Just like, think of all your cheerleaders that are out there in your database, in your sphere. That's a nice one for Valentine's Day that I've been doing. St. Patrick's Day in March. That is a fun one as well. Again, for me personally, it depends on what my quarter one is looking like, for my sales, what I want to spend, what I want to do. So that happens to me both with the February card and the March card. So I do March a little bit differently. I have a couple of these that I can pass out. So again, the cards were made in Canva. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And then I did the cheesy quote of like, may your troubles be less and your blessings be more, nothing but happiness come through your doors. I thought house of doors. It did have a picture of me. It had a handwritten note. On the back, I added a QR code for anybody that actually scans QR code. And then I took it a step further and okay. So I did mail a lottery ticket. It was like lucky, the theme for March kind of thing. But what I added into this was how can I give back? So this is new for me this year. So I had these little cards. They were also made on Canva. I'll pass them through. I have a bunch of these. So when you touch them, they like feel nice. It's not like printer paper that you like cut out. I think quality, like I'm real big on the quality of the details of things. It feels nicer, it looks nicer. The cost wasn't anything crazy, but this had a lucky lotto giveaway in it. And what it says snap a photo in your luckiest green outfit with your St. Patrick's Day card and lotto tickets. They're doing like a selfie with the card. And then they post it on their Facebook or Instagram and tag me. They can put it in their stories, they can post. And then they're entered to win a $100 Visa gift card. So basically $100 cash if they're picked. But the other piece that I added to it was, and have a donation made to Mary's Shelter in your name. So, and then I had a QR code there. So that was something new that I added to, because I was like, I feel like I need to do another twist on it other than just sending a card to say hi, which is very nice. But it's like kind of adds that like extra.
Katie, you're designing a lot of this stuff through Canva. Are you also just using the printed Canva option, or do you have?
So I will check. I do order through Canva. What's the other one? That's different. I'll compare prices, because sometimes there's different sales or different like coupon codes and different things.
Yes.
I would kind of go back and forth. Canva is nice though, because there's like little cards for like the handout and the pricing and quality. Okay. For April, so what I used to do, I would say for a solid maybe 5 years, I would deliver Easter baskets to clients that were close by. And if they were not close by, I would get a padded envelope and mail. So I would go to, let me think, Dollar Tree. If you go to Dollar Tree online, the dollar store, this is where all this stuff comes. Prices are really, really good. You can order them in bulk. The trick though is that they will charge you like $3,000 for shipping. You have to get it shipped to your Dollar Tree store to pick up, or else the shipping is like ridiculous. And now with what's happening with tariffs, like who knows? They have done it for a couple of years. But so this is all from Dollar Tree. Cute little basket. I did the 1 year I had these little like kitchen towels. They were also from Dollar Tree, and they were like and an egg dyeing kit. Came off of it, but this year like typical egg dyeing kit. And then I'll talk about these a little bit later. These rose gold pens. Of those in there. We'll save them to talk about.
Can you Popeyes with those?
The pen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I made this card. Oh, and I had a pack. So, and it was the standard, like, treats for my favorite peeps. If you wanted, you could just have, just like put this like on that just for a, pop bag. But I would do this to as many people in my database as I could. I would look and see like who's local, who can I drop on their porch. And then on the back of this one, I had a spring egg dyeing contest. So it says, use your egg dyeing kit and goodies, take a picture, post it on Instagram or Facebook, and tag me for your chance to be entered to win a $50 Lowe's gift card. The winner will be randomly chosen and announced on April 21st. So whenever you do a pop by, even if it's something small, I always tell people that it's not drop it off and run and be done with it. You put a lot of work into making these. I used to like print on my printer and cut out every tag because it would cost me too much to get like nicer cards made. So I did it that way for a long time. It was taking hours. You'd have to go shopping for all this stuff. You'd have to put it together. You'd have to pull up your spreadsheet. You'd have to map out where you're going to drive to on what day. So you are like exhausted depending on how many you were doing. And to you, it feels like a lot of work. But flip yourself to the other side and it's just something being dropped off. So most of us are probably going to be dropping off things during the day if you're not snail mailing them. And most of the time people aren't going to be. So I always take a picture of the item. So when I would drop off this basket on their porch on top, I would take a picture of it and I would text them. I'd say, hey, hope you're having a great day. I left something on your porch. So that's a touch right there. And then when they come home, they see the pop by or they see what you dropped off. And I did the egg dyeing contest. So I can check in with everybody again without being annoying and salesy and say, hey, did you decorate your eggs yet? Send me a picture. Don't forget to post it. Then obviously they're posting and tagging, so you can comment back and forth on that. And then you have the winner from it. So think of how many touches you can get from a pop by like this. Because too often you're just like tired and you make like 200 of these things and you're exhausted and you just want them dropped off. But that's not like you aren't done yet. Think of all the follow-up. Can you do a contest with it somehow? I partner with a lot of local places. So this was a local ice cream shop that I did a $2 off coupon with. This was also a mailing that I did as well, and I'm going to stick in here. So that was the Easter one. Like I said, I don't do that one anymore because of what I started doing in May with clients. Now, the next thing I want to show you is depending when Mother's Day is. There's some cool things you can do. But what you have to know, and this could be a tag, so who in your database, who in your sphere are mothers and have children for Mother's Day. So now this was during COVID. I'm going to warn you, I have a lot of time. Okay? And there is a company, write this down. It's called AM Cards. It's AMCARDS. AM Cards. You can create, they have like hundreds of different options of cards. This is what the card actually looks like. And I did Mother's Day cards. The cool thing with AM cards is you put a photo, like a photo can go on the inside, a photo can go on the outside. So for Mother's Day, what I did is I went through my database. I stalked people on Facebook and Instagram and took screenshots of them and their kids and saved it to a file and made a Mother's Day card. Now, AM Cards has these add-on options that are really cool. And they have these brownies that surprisingly are like amazing. Anybody that gets these brownies from you wants to know where they're from. And I can only figure out like you can get them. I've looked at the label and like there are these really, really good brownies. So for, I'm going to say $14.99 total, it might have gone up like $1. You can mail a card that you create that's personalized with the picture. And it comes in this cute little box that has confetti with the brownies and the card laying there. So it looks really nice. It's only like $15. And I have people that tell me that they still have their Mother's Day card hanging up. And this would have been from, I guess, Mother's Day, yeah, like May 2020. Because think of how many pictures we all have, but then what's not printed out. And then to have a picture of like you and your child. So people loved this. It did take a lot of time. Oh, and then on the back, you can figure out what you want to do on the back. So it's kind of like a mini billboard on the back, but people don't have to see that. So like when they hang it up, they can have it hanging on their fridge with just their like photo, and then you can make whatever message you want on the inside. And for AM cards, I'll just talk about it now since I passed that up. I don't have any more. When you're scrolling through Facebook and you're scrolling through Instagram, and you see something that one of your clients or friends, anybody in your sphere posts, maybe they just got a new puppy, maybe their dog died, maybe they had a new baby, maybe their daughter just got married. I screenshot it, and then I also save the photo to my phone, and then I send them an AM card with brownies saying, congratulations on your daughter's wedding, or like a sympathy card, I'm so sorry that you just lost your pet. Because think of how much time you spend scrolling. So you want to make purpose to that. And I always tell people too that like, my kind of CRM, how people think of CRMs in different ways, is really Facebook and Instagram, all the connections, the interactions, how I message people back and forth. So AM cards I've been using for years now. People love them. And it's great just to send just the card. But if you want to add the brownies on, really, they have other things you can add, like gift cards, you can add Rice Krispie treats, there's like gluten-free things. My go-to is always the brownies, but people love them. Okay, so for June, July, August, I used to be Buffini Popeye heavy. So I would go to like BJ's, Sam's Club, Costco, and you know how they would sell those 3 packs of the ketchup, mustard, relish? I would have my trunk and my back seat filled with like 100 of those things. And that was my summer Popeye for a long time. I knew people were going to use it. They like thought it was cute. You know, it had the like cute little like tag that said something kind of funny on it. But then I got to the point of, oh my gosh, how much money am I spending on ketchup? And yeah, it's cute. Like people might take a photo of it, but then it's gonna get thrown. I did like sunscreen with sparklers one summer. So again, it's like useful things, but again, how much am I spending? How many people am I sending it out to? And it's just going to get thrown out. So there's nothing, I'm not against doing that, especially if your budget is lower. That's how I started for like my first three or 4 years was Popeyes that eventually would just get thrown out. Because it gets your face and your name in front of them over and over again. But once you're able to do a little bit more, be a little more creative with it, you need to take that step. So what I started doing, and I think it's my 6th year doing that, to go back, is I do a fun in the sun. So I buy these cups. I'm just gonna pass them around so you can get them now. I used to do the sand bucket from the dollar store with the confetti, with the straw, with the cup, with the pen, and would drop it off similar to the Easter basket. Then I switched it to just this because it costs a lot less for the quantity that I was doing. And I would also mail these as well. I'm just going to pass these around so I can talk about them while you're kind of looking at them and like touching. Then feel free. I'm going to have, this is the same brand. I'll talk about what I did with this later. Silitite brand, if you want to write that down, it's SILI PINT. It is a higher end brand. It's dishwasher safe, microwave safe, great for like outside in the summer if you're on a boat at the pool. It's not glass that's going to shatter. It doesn't keep stuff cold at the same time if you're just like, you know, pouring a drink into the glass. Little kids love it too. So I do an order of Silitite, and I created what is called the Fun in the Sun contest. And again, I could teach a whole class on what I do with it, with all the touches that happen throughout it. So I'm going to start, for me personally, my marketing right now is all focused on my May 18th USA party. Then after that, it's going to be Philippines. And people, about a month ago, I made a post and I was like, which Philippines color do you like better? Like, what should I get for the 2025 Philippines? Because they're always a different color, different like swirly colors each year. So I had tons of people commenting, telling me like which color. There's like a pink and a purple color, like a sunset. And then I'll show pictures of like the boxes being dropped off. Like, so it's like leading up to like what's the cup going to be that it has, and then you know, am I going to get? They are pricier. The price fluctuates each year per cup. The most that I've paid per cup is like $9. The least is right around 6 or 7. So it is a little bit more expensive. But at the same time, I am just so, getting you girl. So surprised how much people love these. It's kind of like the whole magnet calendar. I was like, are people really going to use a magnet and put it somewhere? Like, people love it. They ask for it every year. So what happens is I deliver top 5 style, but then I also mail, to the people who are not close by, and the cups are squishy, so they're really easy to mail. And there's the Fun in the Sun contest, I don't have a tag, but they have all summer to take a picture of them doing something fun with their cups. So if they travel somewhere, they take their cups, they send me a picture. I've had clients send me really cool pictures from different places. Let me see if I have to. Okay, so here's some of our Philippine contest photos from last year. Last year was the blue. No, I take that back. That was 2 years ago. Last year I did the red one. So they take a photo. On the tag, their directions are to email it to me or text it to me. And what I do is I create an album on my business Facebook page, so it's public, where I post all of these photos. And then I tag them using my personal Facebook under the picture, because it shows that better than just doing it business-wise. And the most liked by the end of the summer, usually the prize is like a Yeti cooler or like a nice prize. So people are sharing this all summer. They're sharing their photo. They're trying to get likes, but they're sharing it directly from my album. So my follow-up, I can have as many touches as I want to check in to see, number one, did they get their cup? So did it come in the mail? Was it dropped off on their porch? Should I text them a photo? Number two, then we're talking about maybe where they're going to be traveling this summer. Like, where do they want to take their cups? And then they send me a picture, maybe they're at Disney, maybe they're at their pool with their cups. And we're talking back and forth about the trip that they just went on. So it's like a great conversation piece. And it's not you just kind of like creepily, texting them, hey, like, I hope you're having a great summer. It gives a whole reason to do that. And then when it comes towards the end of the summer, people that you haven't got photos from yet, you can text them, I hope you're having a great summer. Don't forget to send me your Fun in the Sun photo. And then when it's like, voting time, that last week, a lot of times there's more pushes with shares. It's just a great way to, again, get your name splashed out there as much as you can, but it's in a fun way. And then what I added this past summer was the winner could choose, there's a list of like local charities where like a donation would be made in their name. So I've been adding that piece as much as I can into a lot of things that I do. My husband is a veteran, so that's why I picked Veterans Making a Difference, which is local to Reading. And then just from being a mother, helping out the homeless shelter that focuses on mothers and children are usually my two go-to. I have a couple others that I'll sometimes put into that mix as well. But the Fun in the Sun takes us June through August. And I find that people are really busy in the summer months anyway. So it's like, you don't want to waste too much of your energy, like dropping something off if they're going to be at the beach for 2 weeks. And if you drop ketchup off on their front porch and sit there for 2 weeks in the hot sun, like, what's the point of that? So I switched over to this. They all get dropped off before Memorial Day, because that's the first kind of like vacay time where people are traveling, and I'll start to get pictures of cups coming in. And if you go to my business page on Facebook, Katie Broskey Realtor, you can search my album to see like years past of the cups for it. That is June through August. September through October, I used to do something very, very similar with pumpkins. And I had a local farmer that I would get deals on pumpkins. I would always order like all pumpkins from him, and he thought he was being nice to pumpkins, which was great. But I was doing the last year that I did pumpkin pot buys, you can't mail. We were close to 400 dropping off. And I had to have my marketing specialist had like her boyfriend and his two friends that all had trucks, and my husband's truck. Then I had like, almost 400 pumpkins in my driveway. Like it got to be too much. People loved it for a while. I did a pumpkin carving contest, so I'm gonna pass this out. So if you were not local and I couldn't drop off a pumpkin, I mailed it to you. And it came in just like a padded mailer. And then if you were local, you got the pumpkin carving set. And the one year I did like these gel stickers and the pumpkin dropped off. And like VIP clients, if they had 2 kids or 3 kids, they got 2 pumpkins. People really liked it. You would carve your pumpkin, you would take a picture of it, very similar to what I did with the Philippines contest, where you take a picture, tag me, the most votes would win a gift card. The creativity of some of my clients' pumpkins and pictures was, really good. Like I have a lot of like kind of artsy artist clients, and some of them like for their pumpkins each year, it would be like amazing. So I love doing it, but oh my gosh, so much work getting the pumpkins everywhere and then delivering all of them and hiring people to help me. But on a smaller scale, this is really cute and doable. But I was to the point where like, if too many people would see, like, let's say I pick 75 people to get pumpkins in my database, I keep pretty clean at around my 550, but it's like people that I know, people that I've talked to, like past clients, that if some people would see other people getting something and they weren't, and then me trying to be like, oh, well, you're on my A list, you're on my B list. Like it got to the point where I was like, I just can't do that. But it's really fun. Feel free to take pictures of anything tag wise for that. What I switched to, so this was last year. So I did not, that was last year, the year before. Isn't it horrible when like the years start to blend together? Like, wait, was it last year? It was 2 years ago. Yeah, so I stopped doing pumpkins, but I just can't do it. It would be like 500. And I flipped it on my client. And what I did, I'll pass these around so you can look at them and read them, is I did a diaper drive. All the money that I would have spent on pumpkin carving contests and stuff, I did postcards and I did post on my social. And it was for Mary's Shelter. And it was a diaper drive to get diapers for their shelter. They're in high need of diapers. They have an actual like diaper bank that people come to if a mom doesn't have money to buy diapers. So I was asking my clients, this was the first time that I lifted on my clients and kind of asked them to do something for me. And I was really nervous. I was like, are people going to not be happy that they're not getting their pumpkin that they just got for the last like 6 years? And on this QR code, is an Amazon wish list for items that the shelter specifically wanted. And they could buy an item on the wish list and ship it to my house. I didn't really think that through just because I had tons of packages and my husband is like, what is going on? He's like, oh yeah, I'm doing this diaper drive thing. And our side porch is like filled up to the ceiling with like diapers and wipes. But I figured it's easiest for them to just ship it to me via Amazon wishlist, and then I take it to the shelter in like one big truckload. Again, this was open to the general public then too, so I was doing posts on my Facebook, my Instagram. So the card went out to my sphere. So this went out to roughly like 600 people. So I followed up, hey, did you get the card? On Amazon, you can tell when people buy things, when you go into the wish list as well. And then when the items ship to your house, most of them, not all of them, because people can choose to not have their name put on it. You can tell who it's from. So I did kind of like an educational thing the first year of like, what's Mary's Shelter? Where is Mary's Shelter? What do they do? How can we help them? And it went over really well. So this year was the second year that I did it. But I can tell you, I was really scared the first year because I was like, I'm totally flipping it now. Like I'm asking for something from my clients. And the overall response from my clients was like, oh, like this is great. Like we want to donate. Like, you always do so much for us and you've always like given us so much. Like, we're happy that you're doing this, and like, we can do something. So I was really nervous because I was like, either people are going to buy nothing or it's gonna go really well. But it did go well, and I've done it twice now. And the outcome both years was about equal. We did, I posted on my socials, I forget how many thousands of diapers, over 3,000 maybe. There was lots of pieces of diapers and wipes. And I posted this year, like, our goal, so that every week on my socials, I would have a weekly update of where we are in my diaper drive to reach like 3,000 diapers. So then that helps people order it too. And I would post the wish list on socials as well. So it was a bigger reach than just doing, pumpkins to your sphere. But my sphere got this. So the only money that I spent, not donating diapers then, was just on the photo part. So it was a lot less work, because the pumpkins, I was losing my mind. I was like, I cannot, I cannot do those again.
You can run that at a smaller scale, it just happens, you're still giving away.
Yeah.
For
And then it's like, if you wanted to do the like carver for the pop by, those pumpkin carvers, by the way, if anybody in here is interested in doing that, they're also from the Dollar Tree website. They're like shockingly good quality, and they sell out every year. So I would have to order them usually like August time, because they do sell out. Again, they would ship it to the store. I would pick it up. You don't want to pay their shipping for it. But I was shocked by the quality. All right, so November through December, I do not spend money on holiday things to my whole database. I know some realtors get like wreaths and Christmas cards, and I think your people are getting so much during that time period. Think of how many holiday parties, holiday mailings, holiday catalogs, even email-wise, all the holiday spam that people are getting. So I don't like to spend my money during that time, except for doing two things. So in November, I do a thankful type mailing that goes out to my closed clients from that year. And depending on my number, sometimes I go back a little more, but if anybody has bought, sold, referred, and they settled, that list. And what I did this year is I got these silicone cups that have the lid and the straw. They had a really good sale. These cups are expensive, the straw and the lid. But I didn't need as many. My closed deals plus a few, so it was maybe like 75. And I mailed it out or dropped it by, like a pop by, and it was the whole theme of like, I'm thankful for them. A nice little card, it had a silicone, it had a little blurb about what the silicone was, just in case they didn't know. And that was like their like thank you gift. I have done in years past the AM card with like a picture of them. If I got a picture of them like holding a sold sign, or just a picture of their property, just the house, and saying like I was thankful for their business, and I sent the like brownies option. But I do a thankful mailing before the holiday rush for like the Thanksgiving thing. I keep it to just my closed deals for that year. Then the only thing that I like to do for Christmas is all of my home buyers get an ornament. I make sure that they celebrate Christmas first. They don't do a Christmas tree. Wouldn't work. So obviously, know your clients first. But I give them some type of like customized ornament for their tree. I put it in a really nice gift box with a really pretty bow, and I make a tag on Canva. And I try to mail it out the first week in December time period. People start to get their trees. And a lot of people, depending when they moved into their new home, are still very like rushed and unpacking, and probably didn't think to get an ornament for their first year in their home. Now, I'm a Christmas lover too, so it kind of like ties into that. If you follow me on socials, like I have like multiple trees in my house. We do this really big Christmas party. So those who know me know that I also like love. but people love getting them. And I find I've shopped at different Etsy stores, but I've found the best luck from there. But some of you might have a friend who crafts and like makes things like that. I make them all look the same, so it just says new home, 2025. I've had some agent friends that get like the address on each one, but then it's just like more time for the address to be incorrect and not put on right or forgotten. So when I do something personalized like that, I personalize it too. So then also, if I have any extra, I make a post to my office and then I have 5 extras. That's a really, really nice touch. Doing that a lot. Like I said, I skip Christmas because people are overwhelmed with mailings and parties. So I would say, depending what you do, to me personally, it's not worth it. Something that I've been doing every single week since I started. So if you were in the Buffini program, huge on handwritten. If you've never heard of it, just do a quick Google. Like he has really like his thinking. And one of his things are, the power of a handwritten note, whether it's a thank you note, whether it's a note to say hi. So what I do is I had these cards made, and I had like thousands of them made, but the company that makes them no longer makes them, but you could get something very similar on Canva. So it's like a postcard note card. There's an envelope that it fits in. It's small. There's purposely not a lot of room to write on it. And what I do, it says like, hi, Katie, wanted to wish you a great day. Enjoy a treat on me. And there's a $5 Dunkin' Donut gift card in it. I try to mail out 5 every week. I keep a separate spreadsheet of who gets them. And I'll make them in batches. So I might sit there and write them all out, stamp them, put them in a folder, and then I just pull out like 5 every week to stick in the mail. So you just budget your time wisely. Again, it's not that expensive. You have the $5 for the gift card, a little handwritten note. I'll forget that I even sent them out, and people will text me. People will tag me on Instagram and Facebook, and they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, thank you! I like just got coffee." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" It's like, "Oh, it's the Dunkin' card." So I'll pass this if you want to like. It's just kind of like a little postcard with like your like business card information on it. But I would suggest everybody do magnet calendars. Everybody do some type of like weekly handwritten notes. There's a huge, huge impact. I didn't talk about pens yet. Something else. 15 minutes. I'm gonna watch the time because I have some other fun things that I want to show you. Something else that I purchased and I was like, is it worth it? It's these pens. So these rose gold pens, I have 2 of them, I can pass them around. Go ahead and like click them and like write with them real quick. They're a really nice pen. And I'm picky with like the pens that I like. I order them from pens.com. They have lots of different options, but take a picture of that one because that's the best pen. It comes in different colors. It has this stylus thing at the top. And what I do with these pens is if I have the opportunity for pop buys, if I have the opportunity to make any type of little gift bag. For example, it is Teacher Appreciation Week next week. So teachers are a group that I really focus on because I was a teacher. I would never want to go back ever. Gosh, it's just like what these people do every day. I did it for over a decade. But I'd love to give back to my like teacher friends for their PTO. I did this giant gift basket, and each teacher gets an individual bag, like one of these like clear bags, and it has like one of my pens, has mint, it has $1 scratch off, and has a really cute card on it. I like to meet people, whether it's clients, friends, out for lunch pretty often. So I'm like a bigger like lunch happy hour person. With having kids, I can never go out for like dinner, like evening things, but I leave my pen everywhere and I frequent the same places. So now it's funny because like different servers will ask for one of my pens, but I always leave one of my pens when I'm there. People love to use pens. At closing, I will give a pen or two like on the little card. So again, they're from pens.com. For settlement and referral gifts, a lot of times people want to know, like, what do I do at the closing table? I always have some type of like little like gift bag to give. But I've stopped doing the champagne, stopped doing like things that can be thrown out because I just didn't see kind of the point or the purpose. They would, or get thrown out. So something that I have had made is I ordered like 2,000. It has my logo on it. Not really compliant, it doesn't have the logo, but I still. And I use those bags and I get those bags for everything that I buy. So I stopped buying gift bags years ago. And I only use those for different things. So at settlement, I will do a gift bag like that. If I have extra silicone, I'll put a silicone in. We have a local pretzel store, so like the only consumable thing, there's a local pretzel shop that you can buy in all these like really cute little chocolate covered pretzel boxes. I just like stick that in, and a card. And then I have a handout that they can scan to leave a review on Google and Facebook, goes in the bag. And then I have a separate letter. Most of my clients get a Cutco knife. And what I used to do is I would bring in all settlement days, give it all to them. Stop doing that. For marketing purposes for you, rent it out. So if you are interested, I use the same Cutco rep, Lindsay. She's at all the KW things everywhere. If you don't know
She's
her,
our rep too.
yeah,
She's our
yeah,
rep.
she's probably here often. Like she's awesome. Like I've worked with her since I was at Berkshire. Years now. And she created, her company has like basically a copy paste letter about the knife that you're going to give. So I always give you like standard knife that you use for. And then she has a cutting board company that's actually veteran owned that you can get like the client's address or last name engraved on the cutting board. So in their little gift bag that I give them, that takes me 2 seconds to like put a card in, put a cup in. The letter from Lindsay, like, this is my favorite knife, talks about what Cutco is. Cutco is a really high quality knife. I feel like everybody uses it. There's a paper, and I write a little note on the Cutco paper saying, watch your mail in about a month and a half, you're going to be getting a package. And then that package is the Cutco knife and the cutting board. And I pay like a little extra to have it. I think she called it like drop shipped to them. But it's so worth it because think of how hectic settlement day is. Like we're all used to that, but to the average person, it's like a very hectic day. And then touch is so much better because they forgot most likely that you were even sending them this. And then a month to 2 months later, they're getting this awesome gift in the mail. It kind of helps remind you to follow up with them. Hey, how's the house? How's the move? They'll often like, post and tag you in a picture of their cutting board. So that was a little trick that I started doing to kind of space things out. My private VIP Facebook page. So basically my whole database, if you're on Facebook, you're in this private page. Yeah, this is a whole other course that I teach, but I do a weekly giveaway for $5 gift card. And I only post on that page 3 times per week. And every Monday morning, it'll be like, what's your favorite flavor? Rita's Ice for like a $25 gift card with a little blurb about something. I don't ever post anything about sales in that group, but the engagement is huge. And the reach, Facebook shows you like how many people viewed it, how many people commented on it. For $25, that's what I see myself spending when they get their $25 gift card. The reach is huge. Like you could not do any type of like mailing postcard for even a fraction of that cost, and it's focusing on all the people that you really love. So I do that. Again, quality items that will be used for a long time. Let me jump back real quick to the USA party. I know we're almost out of time. And then if we have time, I can talk about how I look. So for the USA party, I like to have some type of like party favor that they get when they leave. And I got these flags, and I'm really picky with the quality. Because yeah, some of these flags snap and like try to put them on the ground and they can't. This is a really nice quality, and they like stamped my name on it. So I'll pass this around. This is going to be, and these just came, so I didn't have time to make a tag yet, but it'll have some kind of like cute little tag on it. That somehow has my like business contact information on it. Any leftover that I have, I can put in settlement bags throughout the year. The tag that I'm in the process of making to put on it is like going over the different patriotic holidays, but explaining the difference between them. So like, what's the difference between Veterans Day versus this? That'll be the handout. What I'm doing for fundraising is these hats are $25. And in the world of like trucker hats, the Auto brand is the nicer brand because there's some just like the real cheap quality ones. This is slightly nicer. And I have like the USA patches, but I have my logo on the side because I wanted my logo, like I wanted it to be branded somehow, but not so annoying that people wouldn't be there.
But they were like branded.
That's fun.
Much.
And then at my red, white, and thank you party, the wrap, like the main activity is doing a trucker hat bar, which is kind of like trendy right now. Now the trucker hat bar, I just got the patches and the heat press yesterday, so I'm like playing around with it. My daughter made this one, and I made this one. I got a patch made for like local school that I do a lot of business in. A lot of kids will be there from that, so it has like the Mustang from the school. These are the cheaper version of the hat, so you'll be able to feel the difference between the Auto and this. But for kids that are just making hats, but I was able to get my logo embroidered on the side. So you can check these out.
And what do you use this for?
That is just going to be, so I'm having like a trucker hat bar at my party.
Oh,
So it's gonna be
they
like,
can create their own.
like two tables like this filled with like all different patches. And then, there's an actual heat press. Like we have to like tape it on. So it's like a art craft project, but it's for the action. I do, if any of you have kids, you can figure out how to work with your children's school and PTO to sponsor different things. Like we did these color changing cups that I sponsored to help them fundraise for field trips. Again, people are gonna reuse them. So think of reusable things when you're spending your money to help sponsor different things. These are cool because if you pour in hot or cold, it like changes to a different color. Has the school's logo on it. And these were cheap to order. It's part of a fundraiser that they did. Another kind of like thing I'm known for is like loving local. I used to do a professional video every quarter, and I kind of fell out of it. And now I do it more informally when I just go somewhere, I tag the place. But I would mail postcards out to my sphere with a discount for that business. So where I go to yoga, an ice cream shop, a clothing shop. Think of the places that you go to, so for it to be authentic and look, true to you when you're marketing it. If you would never go to yoga, obviously you shouldn't partner yoga studio. This is the place that I'm going to. I would do an episode. So this was, do I tap it on that? So the sound might not come up, but you can kind of get a feel for the episodes that I did. So again, it was like a big marketing push where I had a nice video made, highlighted that company, which was a local owned business. That was Riverview Gardens and Gifts, which is a really cool landscaping company, but they open up this awesome shop that has the coolest trees, like anything that you could that was a really neat one to do. But then the discount, the promoting, I do it all at cost to me. So when I go talk to the business, I say, this is going to cost nothing to you, minus you allowing me to like use your business name and tag it. And most of these business owners are friends or I'm friendly with because if you go to YouTube and just search Get Moving with Katie, you'll find all the episodes. I think I did like maybe 8 or 10. when I like talk to the business owner, we highlight it in different ways throughout. So you want to think how you can be connected to where you live, how you love. New ideas. So for 2024, my whole plan for last year was always, how can I give back? How can I do more for women? So like being that like, mission-driven company. I did like the diaper drive, the Taylor Swift party, bringing and giving to my VIP page. So every so often, instead of a $25 gift card, we donate to a place that they want to. So always just kind of thinking about how to take it to that next step. And I focus on 2 to 3 local charities that I personally really like. So I'm not just picking like random things. And by doing that, and I'm continuing to do that in 2025. So like, for example, my St. Patrick's Day card, I brought that like, giving piece into it. And you don't have to give thousands of dollars. You can donate $50. $100 is what I did with the St. Patrick's Day card. And by focusing on that, I had my best year GCI-wise in 2024. And I really think that part of that was like contributed to giving back so much. So that was, a huge, huge focus for me in 24. It's kind of more normal for me now that I've done it for a year to continue doing it in 2025. But I can tell you that I've had people contact me that I don't know, or maybe they know me through like a friend of a friend of a friend, and they see me on Facebook, but they say, oh, like, I see that you donated to Mary's Shelter. Like, they're connecting me with that piece with it. And again, it has to be authentic to you. So you'd want to pick, a place that means something to you personally to kind of donate to. I know as a company, we have Red Day every May, because this is like taking a joke for you and your business. So something to think about. That's something that I'll continue to do. If you want to take a picture of this, most everything I've shown you, promo, the Carhartt hats, the Philippine trucker hats, flags. I ordered through my friend Heather. She has an actual promotional company. She's a local business, local mom. And I always like to share her name. She's great to work with. She'll give you different options, different price points. Like if you say, I was just in class with Katie and she showed me these, like, can you show me price points on it? Even with the flag, like higher end options versus cheaper. But if you email her and say that you met me, she has basically anything that the color changing cup site I work her to. She is a complete contact. Like I said, the pens I got through pens.com, magnet calendars were USA, the personalized cards were the AM cards. I got 131. Okay. So what is your one thing that you would like to do today? Write it down on your paper. I'm not going to make you share, but I want you to actually like write down, like, I want to start doing magnet calendars. I want to order pens and give them out to as many people as I possibly can. What's just one thing that you want to do? I always find that writing that down makes me do things. Maybe you want to put a reminder in your phone for like next week that says, did you order pens yet? Did you plan this yet? And I like to end with my quote, be happy with what you have while working for what you want. You can contact me at any time for any questions. Like I said, if you don't already follow me, go ahead and follow me. I post all the time. Like I have like weekly posting plans. If you see anything that I'm doing that you like, send me a message, screenshot it. I can gladly like share all the stuff. I know there's a lot packed into my minutes.
Any questions?
Thank you all for your time. Thank you.
Okay. My apologies that the sound on your video did not work.
It actually worked out better for me to kind of talk. I don't care what it sounds like.
Absolutely my fail. I'm here. You mentioned that there is the opportunity maybe for you to do another class deeper into the whole VIP Facebook and that sort of thing. And so I think that that's something I'm happy to about. Back maybe we should apply and do it.
Because I I do a VIP one, and then I do like an event. Depending time-wise,
And,
what we want to do, we could combine it maybe, or.
yeah,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Next year, probably.
Great, well, thank you, Katie. Thank you. Terry from another market center talked on the Zoom today with us, so she just loves you. And she did have a question wondering if I could share.
All right.
So I write it, like on like a printer paper.
Yeah.
And then I scan it back in and like I save it as like a JPEG or